Welcome to Sports Jam in this never-ending winter. I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Jay Wilcox. This week on the show, action from the state gymnastics meet, plus section swimming and wrestling. We'll meet a Wayzata gymnastics star in our Sports Jam Spotlight. And we'll get started with boys hockey playoffs. In Section 5AA, rivals Maple Grove and Osseo got matched up in the quarterfinal round. 7th seed Osseo looking for an upset. Maple Grove dominates early, though. Connor Dahlberg makes the first two saves, but Sam Huff knocks the second rebound home for a 1-0 Crimson lead. Late in the first, Maple Grove's first line strike. Sam Valerius to Josh Passold, across to Joe Norenberg for the goal, and it's 2-0 Crimson after one. A turnover costs Osseo in the second as Passold intercepts the pass, and his backhander surprises Dahlberg. Maple Grove goes up 3-0. Defenseman Drake Thompson's rocket from the point is under the crossbar and in. Maple Grove goes up 4-0 through two periods. Osseo does get some good chances, but they can't beat Brady Goodman. Jared Vance is denied on the breakaway as Maple Grove wins it 5-0. We'll hear from the Crimson later in the show.
Champlin Park put together a nice playoff run to reach the Section 5AA title game last season. The Rebels opened the 2014 playoff as the 6th seed, facing 3rd seed Centennial. Early second period, the Cougars' Colin Hughes shoots. Tyler Nyman scores on the rebound, and Centennial takes a 1-0 lead. On the very next shift, Connor Lovick skates in and goes top shelf short side for the goal to make it 2-0 Centennial. Champlin Park responds a couple of minutes later. Luke Dahlman takes the Bryce Plunkett pass and scores on the breakaway. And the Rebels are back within a goal at 2-1. The Cougars get that one back. Reiner Gorowski's shot is tipped in by Hughes. The big Centennial crowd likes that, and it's a 3-1 game. The Cougars add another before the second period ends. Hughes to Wyatt Close for the 4th goal of the period for Centennial, and they go on to eliminate Champlin Park 5-1. So in the semifinals Wednesday in 5AA, Anoka takes on top seed Blaine at 6 o'clock, followed by Centennial versus Maple Grove at 8. The championship game is Friday on the final night of high school hockey at the State Fair Coliseum. Last season, Wayzata won the Section 6AA boys hockey title. Trojans won't get a chance to defend their title this week. Wayzata falls in the semifinals 2-1 to 4th seed Benilde St. Margaret's in a rematch of last year's section final. Trojans managed just 18 shots on goal in the loss. Benilde now faces Eden Prairie for the section title Wednesday at 6 at Mariucci Arena. In Class A, Breck is hoping to make a run at the state title. Mustangs open play in Section 2A against an overmatched Waconia squad. Breck's forecheck pressure pays off. Waconia turns it over. Michael Orkey gets it to William Blake for the backhand goal and a 1-0 lead. The Mustangs pepper the Waconia net, firing 20 shots on goal in the first period. Derek Waitala with a slap shot here for the goal. Breck's up 2-0 less than 3 minutes in. Breck's then shorthanded and they clear the zone. Orkey pressures on the penalty kill and steals the pass before leaving it to Mark Sharp. The first try a stop. They whack the rebound in. Sharp gets credit for the goal, and it's 3-0 Mustangs. Still in the first period, and Mitchell Macklett off the wall gets it to Sharp down low, who puts it away. Breck leads 6-0 after one, and they win 10-1. They'll face Delano in the semifinals Tuesday.
In girls hockey, Benilde St. Margaret's advanced to the Class AA state title game. Kelly Panic and the Red Knights meeting Hill Murray in the championship. The Pioneers strike early. Jess Bonfie's wrist shot finds the back of the net just a minute 17 into the game. Trailing 2-0, Benilde gets on the board as Brittany Wheeler shoots, and Panic alongside the net nudges the puck across the goal line. BSM trails it 2-1 after one period. Again, Hill Murray is ready to go to start a period as Sarah Bobrowski flips a pass out front to Jack Passa for the goal just 29 seconds into the second. They add another to lead 4-1 after two. Early in the third, Benilde wins the faceoff, and Panic sneaks a shot through traffic for her second of the night just 18 seconds in, and it's a 4-2 game. But the Pioneers clinch it as
Bobrowski's
shot will go off a defenseman's stick and beat Abby Miller. Panic later gets her third goal, but Hill Murray wins the state title 5-3.
In boys swimming and diving, it was section finals weekend. Wayzata the favorite in Section 5AA. Maple Grove senior Mike Rouleau wins the 200-yard freestyle in 1 minute, 43.63 seconds. Wayzata's Isaiah Pilstrom and Greg Arnold and Osseo's Nelson Vanderploeg also qualify for state in this event. 200 free, Kevin Stowe of Wayzata swims to the win. Brenner Hohenstein and Dan Ebert of Maple Grove also make state. 100-yard butterfly, Wayzata's Christopher Karlstrom swims to the win. He'll edge Aaron Dabson of Maple Grove, with Court Hansen of Wayzata also making state. A good day of swimming for the Trojans. 500 free, Jacob Walensky of Irondale wins. Pilstrom of Wayzata comes in second, and Osseo's Vanderploeg and Nat Strauss of Maple Grove also make state in the 500. 100 backstroke, Rouleau picks up his second win of the day in a pool record time of 52.24 seconds. Karlstrom and Hansen of Wayzata also make state. Wayzata caps the meet with a win in the 400 free relay. The quartet of Pilstrom, Adam Koendler, Karlstrom, and Greg Arnold touch home first, with Maple Grove and Osseo also making state in that event. For the Trojans, it was a day and a season to celebrate.
We're really happy with how this whole season has gone, and just to end it this way for a lot of the teammates who didn't make it onto state, you know, we couldn't ask for anything more. We've had one of our best seasons in a long time, so.
Wayzata wins the meet with 542 team points, well ahead of runner-up Maple Grove. Mountain View is third with Roseville fourth. Osseo places fifth with Armstrong, Cooper, and Park Center coming in the 7th through 9th spots. Also, Wayzata divers Eric Mitchell and Caleb Zarnes each broke the section and pool record. The state meet is this weekend at the U of M Aquatic Center.
In girls basketball, Cooper aimed for a repeat as North Suburban Conference champion, but the Hawks have hit a rough patch late in the schedule. Cooper looking to snap a 2-game skid as they hosted Benilde in a battle for first in the league. Benilde in transition, Liz Nicholson gets it to Azaria Jackson-Sherrod for the baseline jumper and a 7-5 Red Knights lead. Cooper swings the ball to Lori Bowler on the left wing for a 3-ball. Bowler scores 14 to lead the Hawks. Good passing here. Allie Coughlin to Abby Wilgers to Jackson-Sherrod for the layup, and the Red Knights go up 13-9. Unique Longs dribbles into the lane and banks home the one-hander for the Hawks. They struggle against Benilde's zone, though, and trail at 26-24 at the half. Second half, and a nice cut by Gretchen Sattler. Sydney Leibel finds her for the layup. Off the scramble for the rebound, Longs tips it ahead and spots Bowler ahead of everyone for the layup, and Cooper goes up by 1. Longs can shoot it, too. She nails a 3 to pull the Hawks back within a point late in this one. It's a nail-biter for injured Benilde star Grace Coughlin. Her team leads by 3 in the final seconds. Cooper goes for the tie, but the shot is off target, and Benilde wins it 45-42. While De La Salle is clearly the top team in the Tri-Metro Conference in boys basketball, it's a tightly bunched group behind the Islanders. Breck tied for third in the conference coming into their game against rival Blake. Blake's John Vale has the hot hand to start. He pops a quick 3 from the left side for an early Bears lead. Breck answers with a spin move and scoop shot from Henry Cousineau. Gets it to drop before he hits the deck. Vale can drive it too. He uses the hesitation dribble and lays it high off the glass for a 10-7 Bears lead. Mike Anderson's Mustangs start to take over. Will Culleton takes one rhythm dribble and sticks the jumper from the left side. It's 20-14 Mustangs. Ramad Bowman drives and kicks it to Culleton for the jumper from the top of the key. Culleton scores 15.5, 24 for the game. Breck leads by 12 at halftime, but Blake dominates the second half for a 64-55 win.
The boys basketball season trades places with the girls at tournament time this year, with the boys up first for state tournament play. Section play starts this week. Champlin Park is the #1 seed in Section 5-4A, which includes 6 local teams. Despite a late season slump, Osseo is the #2 seed with Maple Grove 3rd and defending section champion Park Center 4th. Cooper is 6th and section newcomer Wayzata 7th. The quarterfinals are Thursday at home sites. Champlin Park hosts Irondale. Park Center is at home against Centennial. Cooper is at Maple Grove, and Wayzata travels to Osseo. The semifinals and finals are next Tuesday and Friday at Rogers. Hopkins is the top seed in Section 6-4A, ahead of Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, and Armstrong. In quarterfinal play Thursday, Hopkins hosts St. Louis Park, and Armstrong is home against Edina. And Jay, in the smaller classes, Maranatha is the #1 seed in Section 4A with Heritage #3.
That's right, and Totino, Grace, and Benilde each #2 seeds in their respective sections. So a lot of good basketball in the area once again this winter. Stay with us. Next up, action from the individual and team competition at State Gymnastics. Welcome back to Sports Jam.
The State Gymnastics meet features 2 days of competition. 8 teams from each class compete on day 1. Wayzata and Champlain Park were part of the field in Class AA. This is Maddie Aaron from Section 6AA champion Wayzata. She scores a 9.325 on the balance beam, one of 4 Trojans girls to top 9 in the event. To the vault, then Brenna Rugg, who launches herself to a score of 9.45. The Wayzata team scores 37.175 on the vault, and a good night for the Trojans. For exercise, it's Claire Lorbicki, very solid. Her routine scores a 9.5. Wayzata as a team with a score of 148.65. It's a season high. They placed 3rd behind Roseville and Northfield. Champlain Park's girls made state for the first time in school history as they represented Section 5AA. Liz Hammond with a 9.325 on the balance beam. Taylor Gukeen tops the Rebels on both the beam and the floor exercise, where she earns a score of 9.55. The Rebels finish 8th with a school record of 142.375 points. The top 4 girls in each event in section competition advance to state, which makes for some crossover between the individual and team meets. Saturday, a lot of the same girls were back at the U of M for the individual state meet. Hannah Roth of Wayzata scored a 9.45 on the uneven bars. That's good for 8th place. We'll meet Hannah later in the show in our Sports Jam Spotlight. 8th grader Alexa Masters of Park Center qualified for state on the vault. She lands with a score of 9.35, tying her season high. Champlain Park's Hammond made individuals as an all-arounder and scored a 9.55 on the vault. That places her 9th overall. Wayzata's Maddie Aaron back up on the balance beam Saturday and was very solid again. She scored a 9.5 and placed 5th in the state. Taylor Gukeen of Champlain Park was also a top 10 finisher on the balance beam. The sophomore scores a 9.45 to place 9th. Brenna Rugg of Wayzata had the best showing in any event of all the local girls. She scores a season-high 9.75 to place 2nd on the floor exercise behind Northfield's Bailey Dupay. Overall, a great weekend for Wayzata Gymnastics.
After team competition last weekend, local wrestlers battled for spots in the individual state tournament at section meets. Armstrong, the site for the Section 6 3A tournament. Noah Sattler of Hopkins is in white in the 120-pound final. Sam Bennyhoff of Mound Westonka gets the reversal on the way to a 17-4 win, but Sattler qualifies for state as runner-up. At 132, Wayzata's Nick O'Brien's having a great season. He gets the pin on Ryan Reed of Mound Westonka to go back to state. O'Brien was state runner-up at 126 pounds last season. Armstrong gets 2 in the finals. Eddie Gonzalez in blue in the 170-pound match against Vaughn Johnson of Wilmer. Gonzalez almost gets a takedown here, but he slips off, and Johnson ends up getting 2 instead. Johnson wins 14-3, but Gonzalez advances 2. It's a wild one at 182 pounds. In overtime, Wayzata's Colin Sohn in yellow with the headlock. He almost loses his grip and gives up 2 to Brian Tierney of Mound, but Sohn ends up on top of the scramble in the end for the winning takedown in a 6-4 decision. Armstrong's Zach Rigg is top 30 wins this season, and he shows why, getting the takedown on the way to a 13-5 win over Nicholas Gabler of Minnetonka in the 195-pound final. Maple Grove will represent Section 5 3A in the team state wrestling tournament this week. The Crimson also qualified 5 individuals for state, with 4 of them taking section titles. Brad Osachuk, Jack Herbies, Theo G., Logan Dick, and Jeb Ado advance to the individual tourney. 3 Osseo guys move on, including section champs Carson Brolsma and Badhasa Wako. 7 Rogers wrestlers advance to state, with 4 Royals taking section titles. Julia Sogunti of Park Center goes to state as runner-up at 1 95. In a couple of weeks, the Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound Westonka Robins PI adapted floor hockey team will shoot for yet another state title. The Robins look to wrap up the North Conference title when they faced off with Brainerd. The Robins' Tyler Sarf takes the pass at center court and slaps a high shot in. The Robins take a quick 1-0 lead in this one. Jordan Klein sends a nice pass across to Joe Dubasar for the one-timer. The Robins go up 2-0, but goals are harder to come by from there. Marcus Onsum's team is challenged in this one, but they get one here as Dubasar spins the pass to Sarf. The second period goal, and they're on their way to another win. Third period, and Sarf will pull it nicely past a defender out front and bury the shot. He scores 4 times as the Robins win 7-3 to stay undefeated. And the state tournament for adapted floor hockey coming up March 14th and 15th.
Next up in our Sports Jam Spotlight, Wayzata's senior gymnast who was a big part of the Trojans' success this winter. As we saw earlier in the show, Wayzata's gymnastics team capped off a great season over the weekend with a third-place state finish. In this week's Sports Jam Spotlight, we meet one of the Trojans seniors who is a 4-year standout for the blue and gold. On a team of talented athletes, Hannah Roth does her best to stand out. The Wayzata senior captain is a big reason the Trojans gymnastics team repeated as Section 6AA champions.
We knew that we would have a chance again, a pretty strong chance of going to state again this year, but it was mostly just practicing or perfecting skills that we had already had, and then just in practice we just focus on that practice.
All-arounder Roth was a solid performer for the Trojans for 4 seasons. After competing for North Shore Gymnastics for 10 years, she switched to Wayzata's varsity in 9th grade.
It was more of a time commitment, and it was just getting to the point where it was almost too hard on my body, where I guess high school you still have that, but there's a lot more free time, and even just putting the hours in the gym, like, it still pays off.
Hannah has stayed relatively healthy throughout her high school career, helping showcase her skills at the section and state level.
She has a lot of bonus skills that help her score a lot. So I know on floor she has at least 4/10 bonus, which really help your score versus the 9 versus the 9-4 especially. That really sets you apart from the other people.
She's one of the best athletes we have. I've coached her for the 4 years that she's been here, and every year she's improved.
Hannah is one of 3 captains on the team and provided good leadership to the younger gymnasts.
She leads by example. She works hard. She's very motivating to the other athletes. She's the one who's in the corner when they do something well, that's jumping up and down and screaming at the top of her lungs.
Being a leader is something Hannah learned from her older brother, Aaron. Now a junior at Minnesota Duluth, Aaron was a football and basketball captain his senior year at Wayzata.
He showed me what leadership is, not only in the season, but out of season, and that you always have to be in the right place at the right time and just watching out for other specific things that could affect the season.
Hannah is undecided on a college at this point and also uncertain of her gymnastics future. Walking away from the sport that's been a huge part of her life for 14 years would be tough.
Club really taught me to be physically active with it, so not just doing conditioning at practice, but also getting out on free time and running and keeping your endurance up and whatnot. And then with high school, I would say more of the friendship and leadership that it gives you and the opportunity that you have with it.
Hannah finished 6th in the all-around at the Class AA individual meet Saturday. Jay talks hockey with the Maple Grove boys next, plus our plays of the week.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. The Maple Grove boys hockey team moving into the semifinals in Section 5AA after beating their rivals from Osseo. And we're joined by Sam Valerius and their goalie, Brady Goodman. Starting with Sam, and guys came out and kind of just took care of business against Osseo here. Obviously, you're a team that had beat them twice this year and everything, but how did you feel about the way the club played out here?
Yeah, we played really good. I mean, We were relentless on the puck, back-checked well, blocked shots, did a lot of little things good. Brady stood on his head when he needed to, and it was a good all-around game.
Yeah, you guys, I know, had a loss to Blaine late in the regular season that none of you guys were too happy about, but do you feel like it sort of got everybody's focus all set now for the playoff time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had really intense practices this week. Everyone was focused, locked in, ready to go, so I think it helped, actually.
Is it a good feeling to get this one out of the way, too? Because so many times, it doesn't matter what section you're in, you'll see a team struggle a little bit in that first round, and you guys came out, and it has to be a good feeling just to sort of have this one behind you and now be able to talk about the Coliseum, too, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Osseo works hard. They're a good team. Connor Dahlberg, I've grown up with him. He's a really good goalie, so, I mean, it's no cakewalk. They're a good team, so it's nice.
First of all, Centennial, obviously you've had some history with that program in the playoffs, but what would the matchup look like if it's the Cougars?
They're good. I mean, their first line's good with Reiner and a bunch of those guys. We just got to work hard, play our game like we did tonight, hound them on the puck, and just play hard.
All right, Sam, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck in the semis. And Brady Goodman, Osseo didn't have a lot of shots, but they definitely had some quality ones. Did you feel pretty sharp in net, though, to make some key saves there?
Yeah, those games are always hard when you don't get a lot of shots, stay focused, so you just got to stay focused and keep playing hard.
For goaltending is certainly an important thing, and do you feel sharp? Do you feel ready to carry this team on the night if needed, too?
Yeah, I mean, after this game, I got a little confidence, so hopefully I can carry that in the next game and use that, get a win.
You've played this section as teams that you've already played a couple times each. As a goaltender, does that help you to know, what Centennial might bring or what Blaine might bring?
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the lines and you know their guys, you know what they play, what's their power play. So you kind of get used to that and you know what to expect coming up to the game.
All right, Brady, good luck in the semifinals.
Thanks.
All right, Brady Goodman, goaltender for the Maple Grove Crimson after a win over Osseo here in the Section 5 quarterfinals. And they step into semifinal play on Wednesday night. We'll be back to put the finishing touches on Sports Jam, but first, our plays of the week.
Circle shot. Nas looking in front for Jungle. Great pass, and Jungle puts it away for a goal. It's 2-1.
Follow 12 Sports replays and live events on Twitter, Facebook, and live stream. Watch your favorite high school athletes performing live on your computer or mobile device. Link to us on 12.tv.
Support at-risk teams by shooting free throws at the Treehouse Hoopin' It Up for Hope event on Sunday, March 16th at Robbinsdale Armstrong. Find out more at 12.tv.
Our game of the week is the Section 5 AA Boys Hockey Championship. If Maple Grove is in it, the Crimson Centennial winner takes on the Blaine and Oka winner for the section title Friday. You can watch the game on Channel 12 Saturday afternoon at 1 or Saturday evening at 7. Again, only if Maple Grove is in the final.
And that will do it for this week's show. Thanks for watching.
We'll have state wrestling and boys swimming for you next week, along with section hockey and boys basketball. See you next time on Sports Jam.